Hi guys, Troy Martin, TM Fitness. Glute training. Glute training is really important, not just for fit chicks who want to look sexy on Instagram, but for everyone. If you're an athlete, you need a strong butt. If you have lower back pain, you need a strong butt. If you want to be stronger, you need a strong butt. Some research done by Stu McGill showed that powerlifters and strongmen who had the strongest glutes and whose muscle fibers in their glutes fired sooner than the other athletes were the strongest guys. They lifted the most weight. So training your glutes is really important for everyone. It's not just about having a nice sexy bubble butt, but if you're a female and you want a nice sexy bubble butt, that's all good. So I'm going to show you a workout that you can do at home with minimal equipment. I'm using kettlebells, so you don't have to have a squat rack and Olympic bars. You can do it at home with minimal equipment. This is how it goes.
So the first exercise here is the front squat. This is what Brett Contreras would refer to as a stretcher, because at the bottom of the squat the glutes are under a length tension. It's the eccentric phase with the glutes are at their maximal length. So because you're using a lighter weight than you would for a standard barbell back squat, utilise the pause here. So pause for 2 or 3 seconds at the bottom before pressing back up. Now we move on to a single leg deadlift here. So another hip centric motion, another stretcher if you like. Make sure you've got tension through the core, that you're pulling the shoulder blades back and down to stabilise the upper back, and then you're hinging the hip. So you don't do this with a straight leg. You want about 30 degrees of flexion of the knee as you drive the hip back behind you, feeling that tension through the back of the leg and through the bum. I'm using 3 reps for most of these exercises, but you would be using a lot more reps than that. 8 to 12 for most of these exercises would be suitable. Now we're using the single leg bridge or hip thrust. So on the floor, one leg in the air, place the weight on your hip, drive the hip up into a neutral position. So be careful not to drive the hip through until you're putting the back into hyperextension here. So just drive up, keeping the spine neutral but maintaining tension through the bum the whole time. Press your foot into the floor as you drive the hip up. This helps to engage the glutes more and switch off the hamstrings a little bit. You don't want to be pulling with the hamstrings on this one, you must be driving with the glutes. And now we've got a frontal plane exercise. This is a Cossack squat or deep side lunge. So step across, lower yourself down as deep as you can. Notice that the toes of the working leg are slightly turned out and you want the knee to track over the toes there. And obviously you're keeping tension through the core throughout this exercise. This also works the adductors, so you're getting a good stretch, deep stretch through those adductors and good hip mobility, as well as working on that glute strength. This is a good precursor to pistol squats as well. Now we've got a variation of the Curtsy Lunge. So similar to the single leg deadlift, where you're stepping back, but this time you step the foot back and across, and then you bring the arm down past the little toe. So it's the opposite arm coming down to increase the rotation through the hip. So you're getting that rotational stimulus through the glute complex as well. And then lastly, we finish off with a good old trusted kettlebell swing. Keep the spine in a neutral position, keep the core nice and tight, hinge the hips by driving the bum back until you feel tension in the hamstrings, and then pop the hips forward to swing the kettlebell. The kettlebell moves with momentum. It's not a squat and a pull.
Okay guys, I hope you got something out of that. If you've got any questions, put them in the box. Give this video a like and I'll catch you soon. Laters.